Hello and welcome to today's live stream on high altitude investing. Let me just get everything set up here for you guys. Sorry about that. I want to make sure I can get close to this microphone here. Alright, cool. Awesome. Welcome, any viewers. Today is my Monday night. Basically what I do on Monday nights is, hold on just one second. My computer is yelling at me for a second here. Alright, so yeah, anyways, what I do on Monday nights is at 7 p.m. MST or Mountain Standard Time. I live stream basically me getting into a trade or a trade that I'm in, and then we calculate what type of profit loss and what my entry point was. It's basically just like where we can all get together as a community and see how I trade and see how the community trades. And you guys, you can join the Discord chat channel. Shout out to Cash Boy, by the way, in the Discord. Let's see here. Just one second. I have a bunch of tabs I don't need open. Okay. I'm just trying to get to the live stream board here so that I can see you guys' live comments. Alright, and so I can change the name because it is the Monday live stream 313. Welcome TM3000. I appreciate you tuning in today. So yeah, Monday. Today is Monday 3/13/17. Crypto live trading. Awesome. Now I'm gonna drop the Google Documents for today's document. Let me just go ahead and share this. Get shareable link. Can comment, copy link. Okay. Yes, I am welcome. Cat, I don't know exactly how to pronounce your internet name. I'll just call you CXCHE. That's kind of a tongue twister, but welcome. I appreciate you tuning in for today's live stream. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, cool. Let me switch to my other screen here so that we can actually get into the charts and stuff. Just let me make sure that my scene switching is all working still. I did some adjusting to my broadcasting software, so I just wanted to make sure that my scenes will still switch. Excellent. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to point out is this idea that I'm just about to publish in Bitcoin here. I made this idea today. It's a long-term thought on BTC, and this is basically just my thoughts on where the price of Bitcoin is going within the next few months, but kind of long term too. I see just continuous exponential growth in this, but I do see some resistance at 1563. So that's what this idea is at. I'm putting it as long. And yeah, you guys can. I'll drop this in the description. Bitcoin idea. Let me drop the Discord chat. If you guys aren't part of the Discord chat, you guys can answer any questions on here if you like to through the live stream. Cashworks, nice. Okay, I'll call you Cash from now on. It's a little easier for me to remember. But yeah, I'll drop the Discord chat link right here too in this Bitcoin idea. And yeah, I kind of think that Bitcoin is gonna go long, and I'll explain that here right now. I just published this idea, so I'll go ahead and drop the idea link into the description here. And for you guys that don't have the Google Documents, go ahead and tune into this Google document here. Let me make sure I drop that in the chat. Yeah, you guys can just join the Google document and look at the coins that I'm looking at right now. Yes, good move, TM3000. Ether was very hot yesterday. And yeah, I'm watching XRP too, DESI244. So good stuff. Yeah, so let's just get right into why I think Bitcoin is gonna keep going up. If I just look at the chart pattern here, what I've done is I've drawn a pitchfork here, which is pretty easy to do. Let me just go ahead and pull up a new chart for you here so that we can draw a quick pitchfork. It's important to know how to draw pitchforks because they can be an excellent way to determine the direction of a price long term. So if you're a long-term investor, they can do really good at that. Alright, so let's go ahead into Poloniex markets here. Alright, and remove all drawing tools. Excellent. Alright, so a 1 week is probably a little bit much on XMR here. But let's check out let's check out this on the day. Now, if we do, we can go over here, and this is tradingview.com. I think I didn't drop this link quite yet, so let me go ahead and drop this link. Bring this over here so I can see any questions quicker. But yeah, here's my long-term thoughts on Bitcoin. I just dropped that link, and I'm using tradingview.com for any of you guys that would like to use the same website as me to do your analysis. They have like a free 30-day trial, and I recommend it. I like TradingView quite a bit. So basically what I'm seeing inside of Bitcoin is a huge exponential uptrend. So let's look at how you would draw a pitchfork in something that you haven't seen yet. Here's XMR, and this is an excellent one as far as the investment goes. So I just draw a line right here. Now what does this line represent? Well, if we go back over into the Bitcoin, you can see this yellow line right here. That represents the center trend line. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right here, and I'll show you why I did that in just a moment. Oops, I just failed there. Alright, so I click right here at the lowest point. I'm just going to draw around the points I'm going to click, okay? And the reason this is the center trend line is because it has the most points reacting to it. Do you see how there's these 3 solid direct trend points where it reacts to that level? So that would be, I would consider that the center trend line. So to draw a pitchfork is you draw your trend line at the very bottom. Okay, here's my trend line. Now here's the tricky part. what you want to do is you want to click right here and click right here. Alright, so now I could probably have drawn this pitchfork differently. Basically, you want to, it doesn't matter exactly how you draw the pitchfork. Thank you, Nikel. I appreciate it. It doesn't matter exactly how you draw the pitchfork initially, because you can make adjustments to it. See how I feel like the pitchfork should be a little bit lower and brought out right here? And that is because of these points right here in the market. So I'm just adjusting the pitchfork to kind of best fit this chart pattern, right? To where it hits the most spots. It's generally trending along this right here, and at this top point it kind of intersects. So this is basically like the what's the word I'm looking for? Oh. You don't want to play with this line too much. It's a tricky one. Come on, Dallin. There you go. Alright, sorry about that. Usually pitchforks are pretty easy to draw after triangle formations. So what you do is you just find the low point before the triangle, you find the high point after the triangle, and then you find kind of the averaged low point after that. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If you look at Bitcoin and my thing here that I have going on in Bitcoin, this actually goes below where the price went right here, right? It goes below where the price goes, and that's just because you're generally, the goal here is to be the goal right here is to be, where's my brush? Here we go. The goal right here is to be following this trend, so it hits as many points in this triangle as possible with this part of the pitchfork right here. And I have my pitchfork custom color settings, so don't be fooled by that. You just right click on this. If you draw a pitchfork, you can click on any point in the pitchfork. So right here I can right click and then go to format, and this is where you can adjust all your personalized color settings. I just like yellow in the center because that means that it could go either way. Green means that it's bullish or generally uptrending, and red means resistance or support zones. So that's the way I like to have my pitchforks set up. All right, let's go ahead and look for questions. What about Eth and Dash? Yeah, I'm gonna get into those in just a second. I was just explaining pitchforks real quick here. So yeah, you can check out that, you can check out that trading idea, but this is how I draw my pitchforks, and this is one that I'm going to be looking at in XMR on the long term for probably quite a while now that I've drawn this pitchfork. I'll probably keep this, I'm just adjusting it just right. You can move it around. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's pretty accurate still. You want it to be good, but it's pretty accurate still. And these pitchforks usually show up at really good times after these big triangles like this. You can make a pitchfork from this point, and then, like I said, the high to the low, the lie to the hoe. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking is happening is in Bitcoin is we're going to come up and we are going to test this 1563 and have a small pullback, but I still would not be surprised if we see it follow this pitchfork for quite some time and maybe even break into bigger and better pitchforks, kind of like how it fractaled out of this one and became this one. So yeah, that's what I'm looking. But Yes, let's get into some of these other coins. Sorry for the wait. First, any ones that we want to look at first? We'll go with Dash just because Dash is kind of one that has a lot of hype over it right now. So let's go ahead and get into Dash. Feel free to ask me any questions. Like I said, you know, I'll do my best to answer them to my ability. Move all drawing tools. Okay, so the hot topic, huh? Well, I actually told people to buy Dash and posted it on my Twitter all along right here. So, yeah, you could have made a lot of money off of that, but that's not the point. Let's get into chart analysis. The actual useful information. Well, I mean, it is useful to know that I perfectly predicted this trend because of this really, really nice rounded bottom formation I seen. And it just came and did another rounded bottom, and yeah, it just basically set itself up perfectly for this. Now, how come I can't control Z? Oh well. All right. So, yeah. Now, what time frame we speaking? Are we speaking long term? Because, well, I'll do both. But if we're speaking long term, I see a really, really good trend in Dash. I see a lot of uptrend potential, and you know, it could do the same thing Bitcoin did. It could hit thousands of dollars. That's not out of the scope of possibilities. And you know, people will love and they will hate on Dash, and they will talk so much crap on it. But really, at the end of the day, if it works, who cares? And also, if you're making money off of trading it, then you shouldn't care like at all. Because I mean, like, yes, it is good to get into these technologies because they are really good and can help, you know, solve a lot of problems in the world. But if you're doing this to trade, which is what my channel is about, is trading to make money, then it doesn't matter, you know, what you think of the coin. The price and the chart patterns tell you exactly where it's going, and they will be more honest with you than yourself over, you know, because if you buy in, like if I was shorting Dash right now, of course I think it's going to go down. It's just human nature to think that if, you know, it's going to go down if I was shorting it. But if I was longing Dash, which is a pretty, you know, steep game right now, if I was longing Dash, I would definitely think that it's going up. I mean, it's just how your brain works, so you have to understand that and kind of calculate it in. But I will say that on the short term, I see a pretty heavy pullback. So let me show you what indicators are telling me this. Now, I will first of all say, disclaimer, that we haven't seen the full turnaround yet. So until we see a full turnaround, this isn't exactly confirmed. So what we would like to see is a red candlestick. Basically what happened right here, but on a bigger scale. That might actually be a turnaround signal. I guess we'll have to see on that one, but yeah, basically where the red candlestick comes after a green one and it's bigger, so it engulfs the green candlestick. Sorry, I don't know what that sound is downstairs. Family probably banging around. But I will say that XMR I thought was hitting resistance, and Bitcoin I thought was hitting resistance at some points, and sold out at profit, but could have made more profit. So I mean, you know, profit is profit, so you can't hate yourself for not making what you could have. But you know, definitely something to keep in mind while you're trading. So what I'm looking for inside of Dash right now is the full turnaround. Right now it's still trending up. It's making, you know, lower lows and or lower highs and higher lows. So, or let's see, did I get that right? My brain just kind of froze on me there for a second. It's making higher lows and lower. It's making lower highs and higher lows. Yeah, wow. My brain is, yeah, that's sad. Anyways, but I'm seeing the same kind of thing happen right here. I mentioned in my last video that I see a triangle formation forming, and I was like, if Dash breaks out of this triangle formation, basically I was waiting for it to either break up or down, and clearly it broke up. So that's good. That's good to see that it broke high. Anybody that owns Dash right now, you guys are probably pretty happy about that. I have some Dash, but I sold the majority of my position when I came up, and I falsed this out at resistance. So I sold the majority of my position right here. But I also bought the majority of my position right here, so I'm really not complaining. I will say that if we want to use a couple technical indicators here, which kind of technical indicators. It's just basically the Ichimoku, which is a technical indicator, and also fib levels. But that's arguable as to whether it's fib levels or a technical indicator. I mean, I guess it is kind of, but that's besides the point. All right, so let's look at Dash on the scale of maybe 4 hours here, and I'm gonna clear up this right here. So we're still trading heavily above the cloud right now. The cloud became support right here. So if you don't know what the cloud is, it's this green thing right here. Basically, I'm gonna be making a video on the Ichimoku cloud, but it's just a technical indicator. You can turn it on with TradingView. I have a video on how to do that actually. So if you want to, you can go ahead and turn it on. But where was I here? Where's my... Alright, I need to close out of some of these tabs. They're kind of getting in the way here. Alright, oh, you guys can follow me on Twitter too. It's a great way to keep in touch. Always getting new followers, and again, join the Discord chat, because there's always people posting their ideas, where they think these coins are going, and it really can be a good thing to be part of, is to join that Discord. So the link is in my channel. You can go to my channel. No Tony X. I am almost 20 years old, and I have been trading for 3 years now, and predominantly trading altcoins since 2015. I got really heavily into it in 2016, basing my knowledge off of stock trading, since basically, well, a lot of the same things apply. There's other things involved, and I'm actually going to be having a course down the road in the future that explains the other variables involved, because there's other variables involved in crypto that completely are different than stocks. Like available supply and updates, and hard forks. There's lots of things, but that's a whole nother story. So yeah, no, I appreciate you reaching out to me. Thank you for that, for the comment, no Tony X. Yeah, I don't know whether you technically AABTC. I don't know whether this is technically considered a fedora. Let me switch to, I mean, like, it says Fedora on the inside, but I don't know if it's technically a fedora or not. Who knows? I just like it because it's wool, and I like wool hats, and I like feathers, and I like RuneScape. So I kind of like to dress after RuneScape. But yeah, thanks for that. All right, switch back to my screen here. And so yeah, basically what I'm seeing in Dash right now is it's trading above the cloud. We could see as far as like short term in this is 4-hour candlesticks, so within the next maybe 3 days we might see a pullback. But with Dash, it's one of those things that you want to see the full turnaround. You want to see a full bearish engulfing candlestick, like a really, really good one, before you get out of it, because this market has a lot of interest and a lot of volume right now, and it's really not too bad of an altcoin. As much as everybody talks about the whole scam thing, and yeah, there's going to be hate in every single altcoin. For a while, I hated Ethereum. I just straight hated Ethereum because of what they did with the DAO. Now, I don't hate Ethereum anymore. I might not completely agree with the foundation, but I like both Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. So, it's basically what you want to do is, not get attached to a coin. So yes, Dash is very, very valuable right now, but if you get too emotionally attached, well, thank you, Nusia. I appreciate that. I hope I pronounce you guys' names right. I do my best. Not too good at pronunciation, or typing for that matter. If any of you guys have watched my live streams without audio. But yeah, so like you can get really, really emotionally attached to the idea of Dash. Like, ooh, you go to their website and you're like, oh, dash.org, digital cash. I love this, This is such a great thing. Why is this not? Why do more people not know about this? And how come it's not worth $1 million? Well, it's not worth $1 million because, well, first of all, nobody's put there hasn't been enough. There hasn't been $7 million put in. Do you want me to explain this concept? So I'm gonna quickly explain a concept for you guys here, and I'll drop that Discord invite for you. Now this link expires, so get it while you can. Lasts like 15 minutes or so, I think, but that's that Discord chat. Welcome all the new viewers. This is a document. These are the coins that I'm looking over. You guys can comment. I already went over XMR, and I'm thinking long on XMR. I already went over XMR and Bitcoin so far, and I'm going over Dash right now. I published this idea. I'll go ahead and publish the idea again for you guys in the chat so you can grab that. You can donate in Bitcoin, but yeah, let's get right into this this concept here that I'm about to explain. So if Dash were to ever become worth 1 million per Dash, basically what would have to happen is this much money would have to go into Dash. So if you have not, it's not exactly, but this is the concept. You have to understand that it can't just become worth $1 million for no reason. So if there's 7 million Dash 163,035, and you want one Dash to be worth $1 million, that means you have to times that by 1 million. Why is that? Because that much money would have to go into the Dash ecosystem to make one Dash worth that much with our current circulating supply. So that's why supply and demand is very, very important. Dash has a really, really high demand and a really, really low circulating supply as opposed to XMR. which is probably why the price is different. Even though XMR is probably used more because it's part of a big, it's part of Alphabet, and that's a huge marketplace. There's a lot of business that goes through there. So basically, you have to understand that this much money has to go into Dash if you want a $1 million Dash. Now, that's, this is just a rough estimate, and there's all sorts of factors involved. This isn't just like set in stone formula, but it's pretty close, and so you don't want to get too attached to an idea. So if you're too attached to Dash, that can devastate you. That's why you want to set your stop losses. I like trailing stop losses. As long as I can keep all of my parameters in line, my trailing stop losses are an excellent way for me to lock in profits as it uptrends. So let's say that I bought into Dash down here. I have a video on trailing stops, and Dash comes up to right here. Well, I can just bring my stop loss up to right here, and since Dash probably won't go down to there again, and it comes up to here, then I can bring my stop loss up to here. So you're basically just locking in profits as it goes up. That way, if it does make a turnaround, you don't have to stress about losing all of your money in that. Yes, don't get emotionally attached. Pygos, shout out. You're really big in the Discord chat, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all of the help you do for our community. So thanks for tuning in to the live stream today. I just wanted to drop that link right there if you guys want to check it out too. It's kind of a surprise link. So if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. But yeah, look at that Ethereum move. So let's get into Ethereum, because I've talked about Dash here for a minute, and basically right now my thoughts on Dash is it has hit resistance. Just to sum up, has hit resistance, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if we see a pullback. But it also wouldn't surprise me if it just kept going up, just because of the interest in this market. So that's why the most important thing, always remember, the most important thing is where you bought in and where you're selling. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Because if you bought in and then you sell at profit, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter. You don't have to get too caught up in how the chart looks, because that's definitely something that can be a common mistake, especially for beginners. Now, yeah, let's go ahead and check out Ethereum since it's hot right now. I have some Ethereum. The trade that I'm in on today is actually ETC, and I turned about $76 into just over 120 today. So it's a pretty average day trade. That's good though. If you can consistently do that, then you're a pretty set man. All right, so yeah, let's get into this. I'm gonna go ahead and take away all these indicators, clean things up for you guys. Make the chart nice and simple here. All right, so it is important to note that the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart looks completely different than the Ethereum versus the US dollar chart. Why is that? That's because the US dollar is losing more value than Ethereum or Bitcoin. So if you're looking at the Ethereum chart right now, it's actually just barely coming up into resistance and price ranges that we've already been in, even though against the US dollar, Ethereum is at all-time highs right now. It's breaking all-time highs. So if we go and we look at ETH against the tethered dollar, and we look, you can see it's telling a completely different story. So like I said, why is that? Well, that is 100% because of the fact that Bitcoin is overall gaining more value than the US dollar is losing, and same with Ethereum is gaining more than the US dollar is losing. So basically it just causes the US dollar to fall, which ever since 1913, everybody that's became wealthy understands that you have to hedge your funds against the US dollar. So you just basically bet on the bottom. It's just a race to the bottom. All bankers will tell you that the US dollar is a race to the bottom. They're literally just waiting for it to hit zero. So what I'm seeing right now inside of Ethereum is a pullback because of this sellout wick right here. This is pretty common price action. When you see these types of sell wicks, it can usually mean a downward move. And the reason that I see a downward move is, well, first of all, we are clear up here. Now, don't ever base your trade on purely where you are in the market. Entry point is important, but don't be like, oh, it's super valuable right now, so that means I can't get into the market. It is a determining factor in decision making, but I don't recommend making that be the determining factor in whether you get into a market. All right, just to clarify that one real quick. So yeah, that's a sellout. These are people selling out, and if we see this candlestick right here shoot down pretty hard, and we see a railroad. What a railroad is you can see what happened here, how these two kind of lined up with each other. Sometimes you have that happen in a lot longer scale. So let me go back in Ethereum here to a time when this happened. There's one right here is a railroad. Yeah, there's railroads all over. Here's railroads. So it's a pretty common thing that happens when you're trading, and I expect to see a railroad form right here, and possibly a temporary pullback into. Now this is the US dollar chart, so as opposed to the other ones where I was looking against Bitcoin, I suspect I would, a temporary pullback at least into the $20 range, because this is a pretty important zone of resistance, so I'm expecting it to become a pretty important zone of support. As you can see, it had a hard time breaking through that resistance right here too. So that's my thoughts on Ethereum. Temporary pullback, probably not that far, not that far down the road. It looks like it may be starting to do it right now. And it could catch leverage like right here. It could catch leverage like right here. That's why it's important to know where you're getting into the market. But if I got in on a short sell right here, I would be holding that short sell. I would hold that short sell until it told me not to. So until it broke my stop loss or my stop order. All right. So is there any other coins you guys want me to go over today? Let's see, ETH. I am thinking on the short term, short it, but on the long term, long. And the XMR just gets double long today. I think long term, long on both of those. ETC, let's check out ETC because it actually is pretty important as to the entire Ethereum price in the first place. So if we check out ETC here, this is against ETH. Oh, that's interesting. It broke below that against ETH. That's interesting. I haven't actually looked at that. We could see this does kind of look like a turnaround signal though. That's why I've been buying into ETC. I bought in, it was either today or yesterday, I can't remember, but that looks like a really good buy. I already went over Monero. I think you can watch the live stream later if you like. Meek Atona. I went over Monero. I think and you can also check here too. This is, I'll go ahead and drop this one more time for you guys. This is my, basically it's just my ideas on where I think they're going. And obviously this is all my opinion. I have to throw those disclaimers. Okay, and I'll check made safe real quick too for you. Sell 339. And yes, I'll get Zcash, Factom, and made safe for you guys. And Miko, yeah, just check back later. It will be re-uploaded to YouTube, and you can go ahead and see what my ideas were on that. But that's the Google document, so you can also see the ideas here. So yeah, let's see. I already forgot. Zcash, so let's go ahead and put Zec right here. And made, I can probably stream for like another 20 minutes, so you know, we'll see here, but unless something comes up, I've got a little bit of stream time here to go over these for you guys. All right, Zcash made Factom. That was the other one. Factom. Awesome. So, yeah. Basically, sorry about that. So the first one, the first thing right next to this means what I think short term, and this is what I think long term. So Ethereum short term on the short, so down, and Ethereum long term up, and XMR on the short term long, and XMR on the long term up. Now, I think that ETC is definitely a long on the short term, and it's very debatable on the like whether it will last, you know, for a very long time, but I'm still thinking long, but I just put depending on the chain battle, because I mean, it's not really a chain battle because they're both coexisting at this point, but it could still go that direction. So what I'm seeing inside of ETC, let's get out of that market, though this is probably one of the best ones to look at. It's good to look at that market too, is that where the money is coming out of ETH. All right, so, but I like to look at the Bitcoin market. So this is why I got into this trade, was right here. I started to see this nice trending up, and that told me to get into this trade, especially since this looked like a big giant rounded bottom formation and a big giant 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And these are trading signals that I look for. So this means it hits a new low at the 1 point. The 2 point is the high point after the 1. And then the 3 point is where it comes to see if it will break below the 1. And if it doesn't break below the 1, then if the 3 point doesn't break below the 1 point, then it's a successful 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So if this does in fact happen to be a successful 1, 2, 3 bottom, I see a pretty big move up in ETC. You know, there's always a possibility it could just dump off and break below that point. That could definitely happen. But right now, I have my stops set, so I'm good on my trade. I'm making profit off of it right now, and I feel like it is an excellent buy. It is pretty steep today as far as price goes, but depending on how long you're trying to hold it and depending on what your trading style is, really depends on whether you should get in. Now, it is at this 50% right here. This is its 50% support and resistance along this little pattern that it formed here. And so that could play a factor. We could see a small pullback because of that, like on the as far as day traders go. So like I don't know whether I would get into this market right now because we could see a small pullback because of that. But that would just make for good buy opportunities for the uptrend that I see coming if it doesn't break below the 3. All right, awesome. So editing. Are you doing this? Is somebody else doing this? Wow, I don't know how this happened. That's unique. Oh well. Yes, I can drop you the Discord chat link. Cool. All right, now let's get into these other ones here. So let's look at Factum. Let's see what old Factum is up to these days. Good old Factum. All right, well, Factum trolled me. Just like as you'd expect any cryptocurrency to do. They just troll. No, Factum legit just trolled me because of, I'll show you what I seen in Factum that made me think it was going to go to the moon. So right here is a pretty big V shape, which usually means that it's breaking above a certain resistance point. But, you know, just like any signal in trading, it doesn't always turn out to be true. And in this case, it did not turn out to be true. And Factum had some other places it was going after that, which turned out to be, you know, pretty low, but nothing crazy. If we go back to our full 1 day here, and we take our trend line, and we draw our trend line right here. And then we draw our, well, I call them trend lines or horizontal lines. I apologize for my goofiness. All right, so that's basically what Factum is we're channeling right now. There's a couple places in Factum where it breaks out and above these areas right now, you know, for a second, just a little while. But we've basically just been straight trending in this area since it was added to Poloniex. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what's happening, is we're side trending in this market right now. But I will say this. I haven't seen something bottom off of something like this so well like this in a long time. So this is looking like, to me, you know, since I doubt it's going into this zone again, I doubt it's going down to this zone again anytime soon. To me, this could be a potential bottom formation happening. This being the 1. Oops, I don't know why I drew a 2. Classic Dallin. Wow. Okay, this being the 1. This being the 2 point, and this being the 3 point. Illuminati confirmed. So yeah, basically, Factum is Illuminati, but but for real, on a real term here, this looks like it could be a nice bottom formation happening. And if it is a nice bottom formation happening, I expect a temporary pullback because it just hit this resistance zone right here at 0.0035. But you know, it's going to catch support. It's going to catch support somewhere around here, and it's going to keep going up, and it's going to break above this channel, and it's going to start channeling in a new area, and it's going to be clear up to the moon, possibly. That's what I think. I think Factum will go to the moon, and I think it's one of the most undervalued, and also kind of just most, like, I don't know if ignored's the right word, but people don't pay attention to it quite enough. I think it could definitely have a lot of value potential down the road. So that's what I'm seeing in Factom right now. Possible temporary pullback. See, we're hitting resistance right now in basically all of these cryptocurrencies. And so if what happens when you hit resistance in all of the alts is Bitcoin will probably pull back up a little ways. But it's just what happens because the money always goes back into altcoins. So like it's just making the money is always coming out of the US dollar overall and going into altcoins. So it's just making the whole cryptocurrency community richer overall, even with these swings, because the price is affected. If Bitcoin goes up, then altcoins prices will be affected accordingly. All right, so there was one more on the stream here that Zcash, that was it. Let's check out Zcash. All right, so I haven't traded Zcash in a long time, and that's because I've never, well, I don't know if never is true. I've never really traded Zcash because I understood that its inflation rate was going to be screwing it over for quite some time. So basically that means the rate in which miners are producing more coins is too much for to keep up with. It causes a downtrend because the demand is lower than the supply. It's basic economics. If the supply is if the demand is higher than the supply, then it's gonna go up in value, and it's basic economics, and that's why Zcash downtrended for so long. Yes, it does look like it may be kind of turning around, but it's also looked like it may be kind of turning around like 1,000 times, and so. Really, what I would look for, I wouldn't buy this coin right now. This isn't like any type of entry signal for me. In fact, it just kind of hit a resistance zone right here. So there's some resistance right here. There is some pretty good support in this area for the price, and some pretty good support for this area in the price. But it's also pretended like it had good support in the past and, didn't have good support. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in this market. I do see a little, downtrend here. But if it makes a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, it could pull out of this. But right now, it's not like any specific, for me personally, this isn't where I would enter into a trade. I would wait for it to kind of channel sideways for a little while, wait for it to kind of decide what it's really worth, and then look for a good entry price. But for now, Zcash isn't something that I'm buying up. All right, any other questions? You can day trade. Yes, that is true that you can day trade Zcash. You can day trade most cryptos, but because of the excuse me, because of the fact that Zcash is just mined and dumped, it makes it really, really easy to predict the swings, and so it's a little easier to day trade Zcash. But yeah, any questions? What is the most undervalued altcoin besides Factom? The most undervalued altcoin besides Factom, in my opinion, ooh, that's a hard one. That is a really, really, really hard question. So Factom is definitely the most undervalued. You have an 8 million, and if you've learned anything, we've been talking about supply and demand this whole live stream. 8 million Factom, pretty low supply, and if the demand starts increasing, we're going to see a huge increase in price. Now, the next one after that for me would probably be Augur, and that is because we have about 11 million rep, but rep is I feel like the supply for it is going to be it's a fixed supply. So you can't mine rep the circulating supply. It doesn't grow. It's stuck. It's an asset. And at 11 million for an entire decentralized prediction market like this, like this is cool technology. I highly recommend looking into it. I'll go ahead and drop this link right here in the live dashboard. But you know, I think that that's probably my number 2. And it's hard to say. I can't really just say that, you know, 1 is my number 2. But due to the factors that I know as a trader with supply and demand, and that the fact that Augur is a very interesting technology, I feel like it's very undervalued and kind of forgotten. So let's go back to some of these questions here. Will we ever be able to buy and sell memes? Excellent question. Yeah, we do. Dogecoin. I mean, this is kind of, it brings up an interesting philosophical. I thank you for saying that, because it brings up an interesting philosophical point, because it's not going to be so much about like what coin you use, but more like why. So it's going to be more like currency. I personally think, and Andreas Antonopoulos, he talks about this. He's a Bitcoin enthusiast. I highly recommend looking him up. Andreas Antonopoulos. He talks about this, but it's basically just the fact that if you stand by something, or if you believe something, or it's going to be more about what you are and less about what the currency is, because they're all going to be really, really good. You know, Bitcoin is a protocol, and all of these other protocols developed around our current protocol it's just going to improve the entire market. They're only all going to get better. So it's going to be less about what is the better protocol, but more about why you chose to use that protocol. Because I don't think we're just going to have one world dominant currency either. But that is more of a philosophical question. But thank you. I appreciate that. Great question. Godson Aha Kana. I don't know exactly what. Oh, Zcoin. So Z Classic? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, XRP. Yeah, I was going to do XRP. Thank you. Well, actually, I don't have to do XRP because I published an idea last week and I'm still holding valid to my idea. So I will share this idea and you guys can go ahead and check out this chart pattern for yourself. It's right here. Yes. Trading is all about having a plan, accepting, being willing to take losses, being willing to accept when you're wrong. It's basically just a psychology. You want to just, have a plan, work at it every day, practice makes perfect, be willing to accept that you're wrong. It's not just going to come overnight. Anything good doesn't come overnight, but stuff that is lasting and stuff that can benefit you for life usually comes with some effort. It's the law. It's the concept of the law of equivalent exchange. You get what you put out. You're gonna get what you put into something, and then some. It feels like. I mean, especially with this YouTube channel, I really, really appreciate you guys. Sometimes I feel like I put in work, and I put in a lot of work, but sometimes I feel like you guys just come back with so much more amazing things, and just, you guys are really, really my number ones. I appreciate every single viewer of this channel, so thank you. Could you also say some about Made, please? Oh yeah, did you mention Made? I don't remember whether I went over it. I'm gonna be honest. Did I drop the? Okay, I did drop the XRP chart. All right, so Made safe. Yes, I will go over made safe real quick. But this is the last one. I need to go get doing some other stuff after this. But everybody that tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. We're just going to go over this one last coin here, which is made safe. Thank you to Cell339, shout out for the suggestion. And yeah, let's just check and see what good old made safe is looking like today. I need to go. Silly me. Tabs, tabs, tabs. So many tabs open all the time. Alright, so made safe coin. Now, this is one that I personally have been watching. Well, I've been watching all of these for forever, for years now. Not forever, but I've been paying every single day. I've been on Poloniex since like mid 2015. So yeah, I watched these even before I was a trader or a very profitable trader. I watched them. Yes, people need to understand how to calculate their stop losses. And you know, it's different for every market too, but if you can figure out how to risk management and stop losses. By the way, I'm going to make a video on that down the road, so be watching out for that. But risk management is really, really important. So thank you for that, Pygos. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and Andreas Antonopoulos, look him up. He's an excellent Bitcoin enthusiast and speaker. Now, where is made safe going? Well, if I want to say where is made safe going in the next like 1 week, I would say down for a little while. You know, probably come test 0.00018, somewhere around there, just because markets, you have to remember, markets remember prices better than humans can. So if it's liked this price right here, there's a high statistical chance that it will go to that price at some point again. If markets like prices that they've been at before. That's why there's support and resistance zones, is because they like to be traded at that price. People like to trade their MAID for their BTC at that price. So no, but yeah, I expect a more temporary pullback, very short term, but I'm very long on this coin, and I think it has great value potential, and I highly doubt that its run is over. This is actually one that you could draw a pitchfork on. So let me quickly go ahead and demonstrate the pitchfork one more time for you guys. All right. Let me get my logarithm. Let me get my scale here. All right. Trending. Okay. There we go. Now, do you see how this pitchfork has it clear down into this area? That's okay, because the yellow line trended along with the triangle. See this triangle shape right here? The yellow line trended along with that triangle, and then this became support, this red line right here. So yeah, as you can see, it basically just hit its first pitchfork resistance and then its second pitchfork resistance. And so it's basically bottoming out right now, which could be an excellent entry point if we don't break below this point. If we break below this point, then this pitchfork will become invalid. But as of now, this is a valid pitchfork, and it could be an excellent time to be getting into made safe. Maybe not today, but definitely within the next few weeks, or it really depends on how long you want to hold the trade, of course. but this does look like actually a pretty good buy signal. For me as a long-term trader, predominantly that's what I did. Especially, predominantly I did long-term trading. This is one of my buy signals, is to see a pitchfork come into this area right here, because this is support, right? This is a lot of support, so the market kind of has to bounce accordingly. Doesn't have to, but there's a higher chance it will. All right, well, that's everything for today. If there's anything that you guys need to ask me, if you guys need to ever get a hold of me, anything like that, you just let me know and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. You can email me at highaltitudeinvesting@gmail.com. You can tweet at me at highaltitudeinv. You can follow me on Instagram at wavestopmusic. And yeah, basically join the Discord chat. It's awesome. Donate if you learned something in this video or live stream. I appreciate your time, and be expecting tomorrow's video. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, stay profitable.